At GMC, ignorance is the furthest thing from bliss. Bliss is research, testing, testing the testing, until it results in not just one truck, but a whole lineup. The 2025 GMC Sierra lineup, featuring the Sierra 1500 Heavy Duty and EV. Because true bliss is removing every shadow from every doubt. We are professional grade. Visit GMC.com to learn more.
Summer's here, and Nordstrom has everything you need for your best dress season ever. From beach days and weddings to weekend getaways and your everyday wardrobe. Discover stylish options under $100 from tons of your favorite brands like Mango, Skims, Princess Polly, and Madewell. It's easy too with free shipping and free returns, in-store order pickup, and more. Shop today in stores, online at Nordstrom.com, or download the Nordstrom app.
All right, so we're diving deep today into this World Economic Forum report, Future Jobs Report 2025.
Sure.
And this thing is massive.
Yeah, it's pretty substantial.
Over 1,000 global employers.
Yeah.
Representing 14 million workers, 22 industries. So we're not just talking about, some little tiny survey here.
No.
This is the real deal.
It's a pretty comprehensive look at the trends shaping the future of work.
Especially for those of us in workforce development. This is like gold. This is like a cheat sheet to the future.
Yeah, it really is.
And one of the things that struck me right away was how they laid out these five
major forces.
Yeah. 5 major forces shaping the job market.
Kind of like tectonic plates shifting under our feet.
Exactly. And the first one they hit on is technological change. And we all know AI is a big part of that.
Right, front and center.
But it goes beyond that. It's also about expanding digital access.
Yeah, because that really opens the door for other technologies to take hold.
It's like you're giving more people, more businesses, the tools to then jump on that technological bandwagon.
Right. It creates a kind of ripple effect. Yeah. Wider digital access leads to faster adoption of AI, robotics, data analysis.
Yeah, it's a catalyst for change.
Across the board,
Across the board. Then there's the green transition, which is no longer just a buzzword.
Right.
Climate change is here.
It's happened.
It's real. And companies are
investing heavily
in both mitigation and adaptation.
Oh, yeah.
Reducing their emissions and also coping with the impacts that are already happening.
And this is creating a whole new sector of green jobs.
Yeah. It's not just about installing solar panels anymore.
Not at all.
Really?
It's about deep understanding of sustainability, of environmental regulations, and integrating green practices into every aspect of business.
Which requires a whole new skill set. And this is only going to get bigger.
Absolutely. It's a trend that's accelerating.
Okay, then there's this thing they call geo-economic fragmentation, which basically means the world's getting a little more divided.
Yeah, more fractured.
With trade wars, political tensions, and that impacts global business.
Yeah, it has ripple effects on supply chains, for example. Companies have to rethink their sourcing, their manufacturing, when trade and investment become more restricted.
And that, of course, impacts jobs.
Of course it does.
And then, of course, we can't ignore economic uncertainty.
Right, the elephant in the room.
Inflation, slow growth. These are the things that keep CEOs up at night.
Absolutely.
And it impacts their hiring decisions.
Of course it does.
It really underscores the need for a workforce that's
adaptable, resilient, people who can handle volatility and embrace change.
Which is where those so-called soft skills become really important.
Right, those soft skills, which are anything but soft.
Anything but
in this environment.
Exactly. And then, of course, you can't talk about the workforce without talking about demographics. And we've got aging populations in some parts of the world, booming young populations in others. How does that factor in?
Well, that impacts everything, from the types of jobs that are in demand to the skills you need to succeed.
So give me an example.
Well, think about healthcare. The demand for healthcare professionals is going to continue to grow as the population ages, or education. In regions with expanding youth populations, you're going to need more teachers.
It's all connected.
Absolutely. It's all part of the same ecosystem.
So we've got these 5 mega trends swirling around. But how do these trends actually translate into jobs? Jobs being created and jobs vanishing.
Well, that's where the report gets really interesting. It dives into the nitty-gritty of job growth versus decline.
All right, hit me with the highlights. What are the hot jobs? the ones that are exploding in demand. And on the flip side, which jobs are on the endangered list?
Well, it's no surprise that technology is leading the charge. We're seeing massive growth in roles like big data specialists, fintech engineers, AI and machine learning specialists.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just about coding anymore. It's about understanding how to leverage data, develop algorithms, create innovative solutions using cutting-edge technologies.
So it's safe to say that tech skills are pretty much a must-have in this job market.
Yeah, they're becoming increasingly important.
But it sounds like it's not just about technical prowess anymore.
You're right. Employers are looking for well-rounded individuals, people who can not only code, but also think critically, solve problems creatively, communicate effectively.
So it's about combining those technical skills
Yeah,
with human ingenuity.
exactly. It's about finding that balance.
Okay. So what about those green jobs we talked about? Are they really gaining traction?
Oh, absolutely. The green sector is booming.
And what kind of skills are we talking about here?
Well, we're seeing a surge in demand for roles like autonomous and electric vehicle specialists, environmental engineers, renewable energy engineers.
So more than just knowing how to install solar panels
Right.
or build wind turbines.
Right. It's more than just the technical aspects.
It sounds like there's a deeper level of understanding required.
Exactly. It's about having a holistic understanding of sustainability, environmental regulations, and the ability to implement green practices across different industries.
So employers are looking for people
Mhm.
who can not only develop these technologies, but also advocate for their adoption and ensure their sustainable integration.
Absolutely.
That's fascinating. So we've got the tech jobs and the green jobs, but are there any surprises?
Yeah.
On the list of fastest growing roles, anything that bucks the trend of automation and digitalization?
Yes, actually. You might be surprised to see. That roles like nursing professionals, social work and counseling professionals, and personal care aides are also experiencing significant growth.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess even with all the advances in technology, there are still some things that require a human touch.
Precisely. While automation is changing many aspects of work, there are certain roles that require human empathy, compassion, interpersonal skills, and the demand for these roles is being driven by a number of factors, including aging populations and a growing emphasis on mental health and well-being.
That makes a lot of sense. So we've talked about the jobs that are on the rise. So let's flip the script for a moment. Which jobs are facing the strongest headwinds? Is it all doom and gloom for the robots are taking our jobs crowd?
Well, it's not just about robots, although automation is a significant factor.
Okay.
The report highlights that jobs that are highly routine and repetitive, particularly those involving manual tasks or data entry, are most susceptible to automation.
Right.
So we're seeing a decline in roles like cashiers, ticket clerks, administrative assistants.
So those jobs that were once considered safe and stable are now facing the biggest challenges.
That's right. It's a pretty significant shift.
It is.
And it's not just entry-level positions either. Manufacturing jobs, which were once the backbone of many economies, are also being impacted by automation as robots and advanced manufacturing technologies become more sophisticated and cost-effective.
This is some seriously valuable information for workforce development professionals.
Absolutely.
If we're training people for jobs that are on the verge of disappearing, we're not doing them any favors.
No, we need to be proactive and forward-thinking in our approach to workforce development.
Yeah.
We need to anticipate the skills that will be in demand and prepare people for the jobs of the future, not the jobs of the past.
Exactly.
And this brings us to really the heart of the matter, skills. In this rapidly evolving job market, it's not just about what you know, it's about what you can do. The skills you need to thrive are changing at a dizzying pace.
So let's unpack this skills landscape.
Right.
The report dives deep into this, right?
It does. It really does.
What's the new currency in the job market?
Well, the report makes it crystal clear that a degree alone isn't enough anymore. It's about a dynamic blend of technical skills, cognitive abilities, and what they call human-centered skills.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What exactly are human-centered skills?
These are the skills that make us uniquely human, the ones that robots and AI, at least for now, can't replicate.
Okay.
Things like creativity, critical thinking, complex problem solving, communication, collaboration, emotional intelligence, and adaptability.
So these are those so-called soft skills we have to talk about.
Right.
But they sound a lot more important now.
They are essential, and the report emphasizes that these skills are not just nice to haves, they're the key to thriving in the future of work.
So if we want to prepare our workforce for the future, we need to shift our focus from purely technical skills to cultivating these human-centered skills.
Precisely.
And the report provides a fascinating breakdown of the specific skills that are most in demand. Like what?
Well, analytical thinking is still king,
Okay.
but now it's joined at the top by resilience, flexibility, and agility.
That makes perfect sense. In this world of constant disruption and uncertainty, employers need people who can roll with the punches and adapt to new challenges.
Absolutely.
What about technical skills? Is it still all about coding?
Well, while AI and big data are still hot, we're also seeing a surge in demand for skills in cybersecurity and, surprisingly, environmental stewardship.
Wait, environmental stewardship, that's a skill.
It's becoming a highly sought-after skill set, reflecting the growing importance of sustainability across industries.
Okay.
Think about it. Understanding environmental regulations, assessing and mitigating environmental impacts, promoting sustainable practices within a company. These are all becoming essential skills in a world grappling with climate change.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So the green transition is not only creating new jobs, it's also driving the demand for a whole new set of skills.
Definitely.
So we've talked about the skills that are on the rise. What about the skills that are on the decline? We're talking about manual dexterity and physical strength, the things robots are taking over.
That's part of it, but goes beyond that.
Yeah.
The report highlights a broader trend of automation and digitalization, taking over tasks that are routine and repetitive, even those that require some level of cognitive ability. So we're seeing a decline in the importance of skills, like manual dexterity, basic reading, writing, and math.
So it's not just about physical jobs being replaced. It's about any job that involves tasks that can be broken down into a set of rules and procedures.
Exactly.
And this has profound implications for how we approach workforce development.
It does.
We need to be preparing people for jobs that require higher order thinking skills, creativity, and adaptability.
The jobs that require uniquely human touch.
So this report is painting a pretty clear picture. It's not just about learning a specific trait anymore. It's about continuous learning and adapting to the ever-changing demands of the job market.
Absolutely.
But how do we actually put this into practice? The report mentions that a huge chunk of the workforce will need retraining.
Right.
That sounds like a massive undertaking.
It is. The report states that a staggering 59 out of every 100 workers will need training by 2030 to keep pace with the changing demands of the job market.
Wow, that's a huge number. Where do we even begin to address that level of need?
Well, the report breaks down the types of training that will be needed.
Okay.
It suggests that 29 out of those 100 workers can be upskilled within your current roles.
So it's not always about starting from scratch. People can build upon their existing experience and expertise.
Right.
What about the rest?
Another 19 out of the 100 will need to be both upskilled and redeployed within their company.
So that's still a significant portion of the workforce. That can potentially stay within their current organization.
Yeah.
But what about the remaining 11? The ones who might not have the opportunity to upskill or redeploy?
That's where it gets concerning. The report estimates that 11 out of those 100 workers are unlikely to receive the training they need, putting their jobs at risk.
This highlights the urgent need for proactive and accessible training programs.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a wake-up call, for sure. Continuous learning is no longer optional. It's essential for career survival.
Right.
In this rapidly changing job market.
Precisely.
And it's not just about individual workers taking responsibility for their own development.
Right.
Employers, educational institutions, and policymakers all have a critical role to play in creating a culture of lifelong learning
Yeah.
and providing the resources and support needed for workers to adapt and thrive.
Absolutely. It's a shared responsibility.
All right, so we've talked about the macro trends, the shifting job landscape, and the evolving skills that are needed to succeed. But there's one more big topic the report tackles. And it's something that's been generating a lot of buzz lately. Generative AI. It's almost impossible to ignore the headlines these days.
It is. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Generative AI, or Gen AI, as it's often called, is a game changer.
Right.
It has the potential to be incredibly disruptive, but it also has the potential to be a powerful tool for good. The key is understanding its capabilities and limitations and figuring out how to harness its power effectively.
So what does the report say about how Gen AI is going to impact the future of jobs? Is it really going to steal all our jobs?
Well, the report takes a nuanced approach, highlighting both the potential benefits and challenges of Gen AI.
Okay.
It's good at certain things, like drafting text, summarizing information, translating languages, and even generating creative content, like images and music.
Yeah.
But it's not so good at others, particularly tasks that require physical dexterity, nuanced judgment, empathy, or complex problem solving.
So basically, it's good at tasks that are rule-based and repetitive.
Yeah.
But it struggles with tasks that require human intuition, creativity, and critical thinking.
That's a good way to put it.
So the big question on everyone's mind
Yeah.
is Gen AI coming for my job?
Right, and the report encourages us to think critically about what makes our work uniquely human.
Yep.
If your job involves tasks that can be easily automated or replicated by AI. Then you might want to start thinking about how to upskill or reskill.
But the report's message is not one of fear and doom.
No, not at all.
It's about understanding where Gen AI fits into the picture and how we can leverage it as a tool, not a replacement.
Exactly. It's about augmentation, not replacement.
So instead of viewing Gen AI as a threat,
Mhm.
we should see it as an opportunity to enhance our own skills and productivity.
Absolutely. It's about collaboration
Yeah.
between humans and AI.
So it's about finding that sweet spot, that synergy between human and artificial intelligence.
Precisely.
And this is where the report's emphasis on human-centered skills becomes even more critical.
It does.
These are the skills that will set us apart from AI, the skills that will make us invaluable in the future of work.
Absolutely.
So if you want to future-proof your career, focus on developing those uniquely human skills that AI can't yet match.
Exactly.
And the report highlights some specific actions that individuals can take to enhance their human-centered skills,
It does.
such as,
Well, it suggests seeking out opportunities to collaborate with others, volunteer in your community, take courses in areas outside your comfort zone, and engage in activities that foster creativity and critical thinking.
So it's about expanding your horizons and challenging yourself to grow.
Exactly.
It's not just about acquiring new technical skills. It's about developing a growth mindset and embracing lifelong learning.
Absolutely.
This sounds like a pretty empowering message.
It is. The future of work is not predetermined. It's being shaped by a complex interplay of forces. And it's up to us to navigate those forces in a way that benefits everyone.
So it's not about passively waiting to see what happens. It's about actively shaping the future.
Right.
We want to create,
Precisely.
and that means being proactive, adaptable, and most importantly, human-centered in our approach to workforce development.
Absolutely.
So we've unpacked these massive trends shaping the future of work. But how do we, as workforce development experts, take action? What are the concrete steps we can take?
To equip people with these essential human-centered skills.
Well, I think first and foremost, we need to make sure our training programs are aligned with the skills. Employers are actually looking for...
It's time to move beyond traditional technical training and incorporate activities that cultivate creativity, problem-solving, communication, and collaboration.
So less rote memorization, more hands-on, real-world experience.
Exactly. We need to create learning environments that mirror the complexities of the modern workplace where people can develop and practice these human-centered skills. Think simulations, project-based learning, fostering a culture of continuous feedback and mentorship.
That makes a lot of sense. But what about those already in the workforce who need to upskill or reskill? How do we reach them effectively?
Partnerships are key. We need to collaborate closely with employers, industry associations, and government agencies to pinpoint those crucial skills gaps and create targeted training programs that hit the mark.
So it's not about offering generic courses. It's about being laser-focused and ensuring the training aligns with the specific needs of the local job market.
Absolutely.
Makes sense. What about accessibility?
That's crucial. We need to make these training opportunities affordable and convenient.
Right. Leveraging online learning platforms. But also considering those who may not have reliable internet access or prefer in-person learning. It's about being inclusive and ensuring everyone has the chance to upskill and reskill, regardless of their circumstances.
Precisely.
And beyond specific skills training, we need to foster a broader culture of lifelong learning.
Yes, absolutely.
What does that look like in practice?
It means encouraging individuals to be curious, adaptable, and open to new experiences.
It's about embracing a growth mindset, always seeking to learn and evolve.
Exactly. And this goes beyond just acquiring new technical skills. It's about cultivating those human-centered skills that will set individuals apart. In a world increasingly powered by automation, and artificial intelligence.
So if we could distill this entire deep dive into the Future of Jobs report, into one key takeaway for our listeners, what would it be?
The future of work is not predetermined. It's a canvas we're painting together. By embracing lifelong learning, cultivating those uniquely human skills, and proactively adapting to change, we can create a future where humans and technology work together to unlock new possibilities.
Well said. It's not about fearing the future. It's about shaping it. This report is a call to action for all of us in workforce development to step up and equip people with the skills they need to thrive in this exciting new world of work.
Absolutely.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive, and I hope it's empowered our listeners to be more strategic and forward-thinking in their approach to workforce development. And if you are interested in job search coaching or career advice, schedule a one-on-one session with Jeff Altman at thebiggamehunter.us. Until next time, keep diving deep and stay curious.